Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss measures of central tendency. So what are measures of central tendency? Measures of central tendency are commonly known as averages are statistical constants which enable us to comprehend in a single effort the significance of the whole. Now what does this mean? This means that averages are the numbers which gives us an idea about the entire population, or it gives us about the concentration of the values in the central part of the distribution. Though we are familiar with these averages, we will now discuss in this video the things we haven't discussed in school. So we have generally five measures of central tendency that are common in use. These are the arithmetic mean or the mean, the median, the mode, the geometric mean, and the harmonic mean. Let us now discuss each of them one by one. So arithmetic mean. So what are arithmetic mean? So arithmetic mean of a set of observations is their sum sum divided by the number of observations that is what. Suppose we have this set of data x1, x2 up to xn. Then the mean denoted by x bar is the sum of all these numbers divided by the total number of observations, that is n. Or in summation notation you can write this as summation over I starts from 1 to n xi divided by n. It's the same as writing 1 by n summation xi, where I runs from 1 to n. In case of frequency distribution, what we have is frequency distribution. Say that if frequency distribution be xi with the frequencies fi, where I ranges from 1 to up to n, say, in that case the mean x bar is given by x1 into f1 plus x2 into f2 plus, in this way, up to taking the sum up to xn fn divided by total number of observations, that is the sum of the frequencies fn. We generally write this in this way: 1 by n summation of xi fi by I ranges from 1 to n, where capital N is the summation of the frequencies. So this is the mean of the observations. These are the means of the observations. So let us see an example. So we have taken a particular example where this marks of certain students are given, and their corresponding frequencies are given. Corresponding frequencies means this mark 7 is obtained by 3 students. The marks 19 is obtained by 4 students. The marks 31 is obtained by 5 students. In this way the marks are given. Now what is the total number of frequency, that is total number of students? In this case you can think this is 3 plus 4 plus 5. In this way, adding all the numbers, this gives us 50. Now multiply this. This is 7 into 3, this gives us 21. 19 into 4, this gives us 76. 31 into 5, this gives us 155. In this way, multiplying these numbers, we got this thing, this fi xi, multiplication of fi together with xi, these numbers we got. Now add these numbers. So adding this we got 2624. So therefore the arithmetic mean what I have told you is the summation over I is equals to 1 2. What is the number of observations we have here now? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 1 to 9 xi fi or fi xi, this is 2624 divided by n, this is equals to 50. So this gives us 52.48. Therefore x bar, that is the mean in this case, is 52.48. Very easy calculation. Now let us find the mean for grouped data. So we go, this means we discuss this. Let us discuss this by an example directly without giving any formula. So what you have here, I have taken here an example. What is the example? The following example gives the frequency distribution of number of orders received per day during the first 50 days in the office of a mail order company. So this is the number of orders obtained, and this is the frequency given. This is the frequency given means number of orders between 10 and 20. Orders obtained between 10 and 12. Number of orders obtained between 10 and 12, that is, it can be either 10 or 11 or 12, that we have 4. That means out of the 50 days 4 days number of orders received is either 10 or 11 or 12. From 13 to 15 we have frequency 12, that is, for 12 days number of orders received is between 13 and 15, that is either it is 13 or 14 or 15. In this way the number of orders are given, that is from 16 to 18, and from 19 to 21 the number of orders are given and the number of days obtained given. Now let us make this solution. Let us do the solution. So for that let us make this table. The number of orders, write the number of orders. What you have, this is 10 to 12, 13 to 15, 16 to 18, 19 to 21. These are called the classes. And their corresponding frequencies we have written from the question. The corresponding frequencies are given are 4, 12, 20, 40. Now what we will do, we will take a representative from each class. So for the first class 10 to 12 we will take a representative. Now this representative, generally we take the middle value from between 10 and 12. So what is x actually is the representative. The x is the middle point of the class. It is adding the class limits and dividing it by 2. That means how we will get the first one, it is 10 plus 12 divided by 2, that is equals to 11. So we have taken the first one as 11. Similarly for the second one you can take 13 plus 15 divided by 2 gives us 14. So we have taken second one and as 14. Similarly the others two we have taken. Now what we will do, we will now multiply the frequencies with this new x obtained. So multiply the frequency with this new x obtained. So 4 into 11, this gives us 44. 12 into 14, this gives us 168. 20 into 17 gives us 340, and 14 into 20 gives us 280. So we have taken the sum of all this xi fi, and this gives us 832. And the sum of all the frequencies as already provided in the question is 50. So we know that the summation, so we know that the mean is summation of xi fi divided by n. So summation xi fi is 382 divided by the summation of all the frequencies, that is n is 50, and this gives us 16.64. So this is the frequency, or in this way we find the frequency, so we find the mean for grouped data. Okay, now it may be noted that if the values of x, or say the values of the frequencies, are large, the calculation of mean using this formula is quite time consuming or tedious, you can say. So what we will do, we'll now use a procedure which will help us in minimizing our efforts. This is what we call the step deviation method for group data. Step deviation method for group data. So what is this? What is the formula given? The formula given is x bar is equal to a plus a plus summation fd by n into I. But what is a? Well, a is the assumed mean, f is the frequency, d is the deviation about the arbitrary or assumed mean, and d is this one given, that is x minus a by I, where I is the class size. X minus a by I, or I is the class size, or h can be any common magnitude of the class interval. Not only class size, it can be any common magnitude. It can be any common magnitude of the class interval. So let us see how this comes. So suppose we are given a set of data x1, x2 in this way up to xn. So let us take a to be an assumed mean, to be an assumed mean, assumed mean. Now this number, this a can be, this a can be any arbitrary point, but usually the value of x corresponding to the middle part of the distribution will be much more convenient. That means if we take the value of a to be the from the middle one, means the from the distribution, uh, or what we can say is that if we arrange the data in say ascending order or descending order, the middle values, if we take the middle values, it becomes much more convenient in doing the problem. So a is our assumed mean, which can be any value in between x1 and xn, or any other thing, okay, any other number. And say h is, and say h is, say I is any common, I is any common magnitude of class interval, common magnitude of class interval. Let us denote like this. Let us say let yi be xi minus, let us do one thing. Let us do one thing. Instead of writing this as I, since we have used this in summation, let us denote it by say another number, say h. So let yi equals to xi minus a by h, xi minus a by h. So let us find the mean of yi. Now if y bar suppose is the mean of, say with the mean of yi, where I ranges from 1 to n, then we know that this is equals to 1 by n summation yi, where I is from 1 to n. This is 1 by n summation I equals to 1 to n. Now what is yi we have taken? This is xi minus a divided by h. Xi minus a divided by h. So what we can do, since h is a constant and is independent of I, we can bring this h out of this summation. This is 1 by n summation over I equals to 1 to n. This is xi minus a. Now since these are finite sums, so what we can do is we can separate the summation, and we can write this as summation over I equals to 1 to n xi minus summation I equals to 1 to n a. Summation I equals to 1 to n a. This is nothing but 1 by h into, if we separate this, this is 1 by n summation I equals to 1 to n xi minus 1 by n. Now what is summation of I equals to 1 to n a? What is summation I equals to 1 to n a? Now see, now summation I equals to 1 to n a is nothing but we are adding a n times. We are adding a n number of times. So this is actually what? N into a. This is actually n into a. This is n a. This n and n cancels. This is 1 by h. Now we know that the first term is actually the formula for x bar, so we can write this as x bar minus a. So this is equals to what we got, x bar minus a by h. X bar minus a bar h. So therefore what we got that y bar is equal to x bar minus a by h. So that is x bar can be written as a plus h into y bar. A plus h into y bar. So x bar and y bar are related in this way. So instead of finding the mean of x, this x1 x2 xn, if we find the mean of y bar also, we can find the mean of x bar using this step deviation method, and it will be much more convenient when the values of this xi's or the values of f are very large. And this method is called the step deviation method. Okay, so I've given here an example. So find the mean of the following distribution using the step deviation method. So what are the class intervals I've taken? This is 0 to 8. The frequency is given 10. The next class is from 8 to 16. The frequency is 20. The third one is from 16 to 24. The frequency is 24. Similarly, from 24 to 32, the frequency is 16. 32 to 40, it is 18. And from 40 to 48, it is 22. So we'll find the mean of this distribution using step deviation method. So let us see this one. So let us put this in the table. So what we have done, we have written the class intervals. That means we have written these intervals 0 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 24, 24 to 32, 32 to 40, and 40 to 48. And the corresponding frequency you have written in this one. The corresponding frequencies. So corresponding frequencies were given. Now let us find this x. What is the x? The x was the middle value or the class mark that we call. So what we have taken x? X was the middle value or the upper limit 0, then plus the lower limit. Sorry, the lower limit 0 plus the upper limit 8 divided by 2. This is equals to 4. The first case, this is 4. Similarly, for the second one, what we will have? This is the lower limit is 8 and the upper limit is 16. So 8 plus 16 divided by 2. This gives us 12. So this is second one is 12. So similarly, these values we form the middle values of the class intervals. The middle value of the class intervals. Now see the class interval or the class, sorry, see the class marks of the middle value. So 4, 12, 20, 28, 36 and 44. So if we take a value from the middle, it can be 20 or 28. So for example, let us say we are taking 28. You can choose a to be any, what I've told that a can be chosen to be any constant, but for convenience, but for simplicity of calculations, we generally take the middle value if possible from the class marks. Now the middle value can be 20 or 21, 28 also, since we have even number of observations. So it can be 20 or 28. So let us take 28. So we have written here this is mi minus 28. Mi minus 28. So what we will do, we will subtract 28 from each of this mi. So 4 minus 28 will give us 24. 12 minus 28 will give us minus 16. 20 minus 28 will give us minus 8. 28 minus 28 will give us 0. 36 minus 28 will give us 8. 44 minus 28 will give us 16. Then now see, for each of these values we have a common magnitude 8. We have a common magnitude 8 from each of these values. So we can divide each of these numbers by 8. So what we have done in the next column, we have divided each of them by 8. So we got here minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. 0, 1 and 2. So what we'll do now, this di dash that I have written as yi, that I have written as yi during the proof. So what do we got? That yi is actually xi, what I have written xi minus a by h, which is in this case xi minus what we have taken a to be 28 and what we have taken h to be 8. Now what we will do, we'll find the mean of y and then we'll use it to find the mean of x. So what we'll do now, multiply the frequencies with this yi is now. So 10 into minus 3 will give us minus 30. 20 into minus 2 will give us minus 40. 14 into minus 1 will give us minus 14. 16 into 0 will give us 0. 18 into 1 will give us 18. And 22 into 2 will give us 44. Add all this gives us minus 22. Add all this gives us minus 22. And add all the frequencies, this gives us 100. This gives us 100. So therefore, what will be y bar? Now y bar will be then minus 22 by 100. So therefore, what will be x bar? So what you have taken x bar? See, what was x bar? X bar we have found using this formula. X bar is a plus h into y bar. So this is a plus a is 28 plus h is 8 into what is y bar? Minus 22 by 100. So calculating this, we'll get something in the calculation. So calculating this, we got 26.24. So thus we have used step deviation method in finding the mean of this group data. Next, I have given two exercises for you. The answers are already given. You can do this as a practice. We now move to the next one. Next, measures of central tendency, which is nothing but the median. Now what median is? Actually, median of a distribution is the value of the variable which divides it into two equal parts. Which divides it into two equal parts. That is, we can write like this, that what is median? Median of a distribution. Median of a distribution is the value of the variable which divides it into two equal parts. That is what? It is the value which exceeds and is exceeded by the same number of observations. Which exceeds and exceeded by the same number of observations. Okay, that is, what do you mean by this? That means uh, it is that value, say, such that the number of observations above it is equal to the number of observations below it. Okay, number of observations above it is the number of observations below it. So now in case of ungrouped data, so if we take, say, ungrouped data, what happens in this case? If the number of observations is odd, say ungrouped data, plus 1, if the number of observations is odd, then median is the middle value. Median is the middle value after the values have been arranged in ascending or descending order. After the values have been arranged in ascending or descending order. Now, if the number of observations is even, in case the number of observations are even, number of observations is even, in that case what happens, what we do, we take the mean of the middle two observations, we take the mean of the middle terms. What do we take? Median. In that case, median is the mean of the middle two terms after the values are arranged in ascending or descending order. So that is what you can take an example like this. Say we have taken an example. What is this? This is the first one. See, a set of observations is taken 1, 2, 4, 5, 5, 6, 8. So how many observations we have here? We have here 7 observations. So the middle one will be what is this number of what is the middle one? The number, to find the middle one, we can do like this, that the number of observations here is, for this case, the number of observations, the number of observations in this case is equal to 7. So the middle term will be what? The middle term will be actually 7 plus 1 by 2, that is equals to the fourth term. Now what is the fourth term? The fourth term here is 5. So the median of this data is 5. See here, the data were already arranged in ascending order. In case it was not arranged, we first have to arrange this in ascending order or descending order, then you have to do this. Similarly, for the next example, we have this data 1, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 8, 8. So here there are no middle terms, since number of observations are 8 in this case. So we have two middle terms. This is 4 and 5. Two middle terms, 4 and 5. So how to find the middle terms? We can find the middle terms like this. Since the number of observations in this case is 8, so there are two middle terms. So what are that? This is 8 by 2, that is equals to fourth term, and the next one, that is the fifth term. So this is 4 and 5. So median will be the mean of this two. So what is the mean of this two? This is 4 plus 5 divided by 2. This is 4.5. So this is a very simple case when the number of observations are, when the observations are ungrouped. Now, in case of discrete frequency distribution, this median is obtained by considering the cumulative frequencies. That is finding median for group data. I will rather show you an example that will be much more helpful, I guess. Means describing this by an example is much more easier. So let us take this example. We are asked to find the mean of the following distribution. So this variate is given 2, 5, 6, 8, 10, and the number of students, that is the corresponding frequencies are given. That means we can think to be this are xi's. These are the corresponding frequencies i's. So write this in the column. So this is our xi, this is our a5. So what we will do now? We will now find the cumulative frequency CF, which is less than time. Cumulative frequency is less than time. Now what is this actually? So we will first see what is the frequency when the number of when the variates are 2 or less than 2. When the variates are 2 or less than 2. So we have frequency 3. So the first one is 3. So next what we will do? We will find the number of variates. We'll find the total frequency when the variates are less than 5. So what is the variates are less than 5 means it can be 5 also, it can be 2 also. So actually the cumulative frequency will be what? This 3 plus 2, that is equals to 5. Similarly, when we will find the next one, this will be the cumulative frequency which are less than equal to 6. So it can be 6, it can be 5, it can be 2. So what we have to do? We have to add this 3, 2 and 5. So 3, 2, 5 gives us 10. Similarly, the next one you have to add this 4 again, so this becomes 14, and the last one is to add 2, this gives 16. So this is the cumulative frequency, and this is what you got in the total number of frequencies is equals to 16. So what we'll do now, we'll find n by 2. So n by 2 in this case gives us 8. N by 2 in this case gives us 8. Now find the cumulative frequencies between which 8 lies. Now find the cumulative frequencies between which 8 lies. Now see, 8 lies between this 5 and 10. So 8 lies somewhere here between 5 and 10. So what we'll do, we'll take the variate whose cumulative frequency is just greater than 8. We will take that variate whose cumulative frequency is just greater than 8. So the cumulative frequency which is just greater than 8 is 10, and the variate corresponding to this one is this 6. Is this 6. So the mean of this distribution will be 6. The mean of this distribution will be 6. So this is the procedure of finding this mean when we have grouped data. For discrete one, obviously, for discrete frequency distribution. Now let us now find the median of this grouped data when we have continuous. For this case, for the median of group data, we find the cumulative frequency and then calculate the median using this formula. Then we calculate the median using this formula. So what is the formula? Median is given by L plus H by F into n by 2 minus C. L plus H by F into n by 2 minus C. What are this L, H, F, N and C? So it is given here. So what is L? L is the lower class boundary of the model class. Now what is model class? What is model class? We'll discuss using when we will do the example. F is the frequency of the median class. Actually, this model class actually means the median class only. You can think this as the median class. Typing mistake I've done. Okay, so what is N? N is number of total sum of all the frequencies. C is cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class, and H is the class interval size of the model class or median class, whatever you take, all are same. So I think this will be more helpful if we do this. It will be easier to understand if we do an example. So here is a problem given to find the median of the following data. To find the median of the following data from the following data. So you have given a group is given 60 to 64, 60 to 64, 65 to 69, 70 to 74, 75 to 79, 80 to 84, 85 to 89. 85 to 89, and their corresponding frequencies are given. Corresponding frequencies are given. Now what we will do, we will now find the median of all these distributions. So what we have done, we have written the group in this column and the corresponding frequencies. Now one thing to note here is that while writing the groups, see, the groups are not continuous. The groups are not continuous means the first group is 60 to 64, then the second one starts from 65 to 69. So actually what we have a gap in between the first group and the second group. This first group ends at 64 and the second one starts with 65. So there is a gap in between 64 and 65. So in order to avoid this, what we can do sometime is that, we can make this continuous by adding and subtracting a certain number from the lower limit and the upper limit. Means what number to add? Find the difference where the first group ends and the second group starts. So the first group ends at 64 and the second starts at 65. So what is the difference between them? Difference is 65 minus 64, that is equal to 1. We will take the half of it, that is equal to 1 by 2 or 0.5. So how we can make this continuous? What we will do, we will subtract 0.5 from the lower limits and add 0.5 with upper limit. So the lower limit will become now 59.5 to 64.5. For the second case, if you subtract 0.5 from the lower limit, this will be 64.5, and if you add 0.5 with the upper limit will be 69.5. And if you do the same thing for the third group, if you subtract zero point 0.5 from 70, it will be 69.5, and add 0.5 with this third one, means at the upper limit, it will be 74.5. So what happens is, they see now the groups become continuous. The first group where it ends, the second group starts from that number on. So this procedure makes the group continuous. So you can do the same calculation while first making the groups continuous. Okay, here I haven't used that one. I've written the groups as it is, but you can use this procedure. First you can make the group continuous, then proceed similarly. Okay, let us now go to this one. This group is given, this frequency is given, then the class boundaries I have written again. Class boundaries we have written again, but what I have told you, you can directly use start from this one without writing this thing. You can directly start from this one. So this is given. Now what we will do, we will find the cumulative frequency. How to find the cumulative frequency? The first one is 1. The second one will be 1 plus 5, that is 6. The third one will be 1 plus 5 plus 9, that is 15. The third one will be 1 plus 5 plus 9 plus 12, that is 27. Similarly, the next one adding 7 is 34, and this adding this gives us 36. So we have made this cumulative frequency 1. Now, what is n? What is the sum of all the frequencies? What is n? The sum of all the frequencies. The sum of all the frequencies is, if you add all these numbers, this will be always equal to this 36, always equal to the last cumulative frequency. So this is now our n. This is our n. So the median class that I was talking about, this median class is actually, first find this value n by 2. First find this value n by 2. To find the median class, find n by 2, that is in this case is 36 by 2, that is equals to 18. 36 by 2, that is equals to 18. Now check, 18 lies between which two cumulative frequencies? Now 18 lies between 15 and 27, here lies 18. So the value which is next to 15, or the value of the cumulative frequency just next to 18, is 27. And corresponding to this, the group is 79, 70 to 70, sorry, 75 to 79, or if you take this continuous, it is 74.5 to 79.5. This class will be called the median class, or this group will be called the median class. Okay, so we'll deal with this 75 to 79 group, or 74.5 to 79.5. Now, what is L? Check this one. What is L? L is given the lower class boundary of the median class. So what is the lower class boundary of the middle class? The median class is now, what is the median class? Median class is 74.5 to 79.5. So what is the lower class boundary? This is our lower class boundary. This is our L. So L is 74.5. We have written the value of L. Next, H. What is H? Say this one, what we have taken H. H is the class interval of the model class. Size of the class interval. Now what is the size of each of this class? See, the size of each of this class is 5. The size of each of them is 575 to 79. Or you can do like this. To find the size of A, to find the size, you subtract the, if you take any class and subtract the lower limit from the upper limit, the 79.5 minus 74.5, then this gives us 5. So H is 5. So H is 5. Next, what is F? What is F? F is given the frequency of the median class. So what is the median class? This one is the median class, and the corresponding frequency is 12. So this is our F. So we have taken here F. N by 2. N we already got 18. So N is already got 36. N by 2 is what? 18. So this is 18. Minus C. And what is C? C here is cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class. So what is the median class? This is our median class. So what is the cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class? So the preceding class is this one, the above one. And what is the cumulative frequency of this class? This is 15. So this is actually our C. So put the values, calculate. This gives us 75.75. This is the median of this group. distribution or continuous group distribution, continuous frequency distribution. So this is how we find median. So let us now move to the next one. This is grouped data, mode for finding group data. Now what is mode? First of all, what is mode? I have directly written here, taken here the mode of the group data. I have not taken the what is the discrete things or ungrouped data, because that is very easy. So what actually mode is? So mode is actually the value which occurs most frequently. So mode is a mode of a distribution is the value which has the highest frequency, which has the highest frequency. That means the observation with highest frequency will be called the mode. Very easy. The observation with highest frequency will be called the mode. So if we go to the previous, if we can find this one. So if we can take this one, so come to this example again. So the variables given were, see, the variables given were 2, 5, 6, 8 and 10. And see the number of students, that is the frequencies given. These are the frequencies. So which one has the highest frequency? This 5 is the highest one. And this corresponds to which variate? 6. So in this case, the mode is equal to 6. Just the variate with highest frequency is our mode. The variate with highest frequency is our mode. But like this median one, while we have found the median for grouped data or continuous frequency distribution, we have a different formula. We too have a different formula while finding mode of grouped data. Now, first of all, we have to check, or we have to see how to find the modal class. Finding modal class is, in this case, is very easy. Check the distribution. Check this example. So this distribution is given. The seconds are given with some frequencies are given. So between seconds 51 to 55, the frequency is 2. Between this 56 to 60 seconds, the frequency is 7. Similarly, for 61 to 65 class, this is 8, and for the class 66 to 70, it is 4. So now find this the highest frequency. What is the highest frequency? The highest frequency is 8. So the interval corresponding to the highest frequency, that is 61 to 65, this class interval, this is the modal class. We'll call this to be the modal class. And the mode for this distribution can be found using this formula. The mode for this distribution can be found using this formula. And what is this all denotes? This L is the lower class boundary of the modal group, lower class boundary of the lower middle group, modal group. So that is, in this case, 65 is our L. If m-1 is the frequency of the group just before the modal group. So what is the modal group? 61 to 65. So before the modal group, we have 65, 60, 56 to 60. And what is the frequency that you have given? This is 7. So this is actually fm-1. Next one is fm. What is fm? Fm is frequency of the modal group. So frequency of modal group is this one, fm. Fm plus 1 is the frequency of the group just after the modal group. So just after the modal group means this is 66 to 70, and the frequency is 4. So this is our fm plus 1. And w is the width of the group. W is the width of the group. So what is the width of the group in this case? This is also here, it is 5. W is equal to 5 after it is made continuous. See, the data here are not given continuous. We'll first make this continuous by adding 0.5 with the upper limit and subtracting 0.5 from the lower limit. So just putting the values of this variables L, fm-1, fm plus 1 and w, we will get the mode of the distribution. So just put the values. After putting the values, we got this one as 61.5. So mode of this distribution is 61.5. So this is all about measures of central tendency. In the next video, we will discuss measures of dispersion. till now. Thank you.